What is going on, LBHT crew? B, Hendo. What is going on? Man, I'm glad you're here, Hendo. You can already hear it in my voice. My voice is hoarse. All right. It is hoarse. We need an extra voice in here today because your boy's struggling. Your boy's struggling. What's going on with you guys?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing, man. I'm doing.
Yeah, please elaborate.
Tell me more. Listen. Salute to the chat. Look. For real this time. I know we always tell you, hey, this ain't gonna be a 2-hour show. And ends up being an hour and 59 minutes. Okay. So technically it's not 2 hours. But tonight, it's not gonna be a 2-hour show. We're gonna try to do about an hour overtime show. We're gonna try to make it about a half an hour, try to cut it short. Why? We are getting things done for this meet and greet, which is part of the reason why my voice is hoarse right now. All right. I had to scream at some people. But as soon as the show's done, we're gonna be running around. You see this right here? The roundup, the Ravens roundup. We will all be here in Columbia, Maryland on Friday at Bus Boys and Poets. Make sure you get your tickets. All right, you can get them at the last minute. Not the very last minute, because then we can't sell those anymore. But get your tickets. Come hang out with us. All right, it's going to be a lot of fun. We are doing some last minute stuff. You guys are going to enjoy it. All right. Shout out to the chat. Mr. J's in the house says, made it to another Wednesday. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. All right. Raven Ron's in the house says, what up, LBHT? Preseason is here tomorrow. And go first place O's. Oh, okay. If you say so. Go O's. I'm happy for the O's. Joshua Hughes says, yo, what's up, Joshua? Thanks for coming through.
What's up, Josh?
What's up, man?
Just Aloe in the house. What's going on, Just Aloe? Ooh. Shout out to you. Bazel. Hey, lovely video. Our guy Bazel just got married. He put out some video with his wedding photos. Very nice. And congratulations to you, man. Salute. Willie Seabon in the house says, what's happening, fellas? What's up with you, Willie? All
nice
right.
To see you again.
Yes. So we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So make sure you're following us all those places. Also, if you're listening to the audio portion of this is Thursday. So we hope you're enjoying your lunch. Make sure you leave a 5-star review. Okay. What's going on, Chef 87? The Chef 87 says, good evening, everyone. Jose, Brodny, and Hendo.
What's up?
Salute to you. Salute. So yes, we're gonna be pushing tickets at the last minute because time is running out. So if you've been away for the show for a while, we are doing a meet and greet. Make sure you get your tickets. Take the link is in the description. The Stream Elements bot will be posting it in the chat periodically. So, and you can just type in !tickets and a ticket link will pop up. All right. So training camp is going on. We got some NFL here. All right. We are going to be making NFL predictions. All right. We're going to be making our predictions. Who's going to be MVP? Who's going to be the Super Bowl champs? All that good stuff. We're going to be making those predictions tonight. Okay. We got a little NBA story to give you too about a legend, Dr. J, who, everybody got a list. Everybody got a list of their favorite players. Dr. J gives his list. All right. So we're going to be discussing that. We're going to be discussing Johnathan Taylor and the drama with him and the Colts. All right. So we got a lot to get to and a short amount of time to get to it. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of a PSA, a public service announcement. Stop going to Lake Lanier down in Georgia. I mean, I don't know why Hendo's laughing. Another couple of people died at Lake Lanier recently. Yeah. So you're not smiling.
Oh my goodness.
That brings the total to over 200 since 1994. And I believe over 700 in the lake's lifetime. Stop it. It's not for you. It's for killing. But also, the other reason you maybe don't want to go and just hang out at Lake Lanier like it's party time is because Lake Lanier has buried in an old black town, Oscarville. In 1912, it was a prosperous black town with about 1,100 people living there. Some landowners, farmers, blacksmiths. A lot of tradespeople there. And then the body of a young woman named May Crow was found. A white young woman was found in the woods near Oscarville, and of course they went to the black town looking for who raped the white woman. And they arrested a few people. They actually went and put a couple people on trial. They confessed, and they had the militia guarding the. I'll just say not victim, I guess necessarily, but the people on trial. They locked them in the courthouse and had militia guarding them so that the mob could not get to them. After they were convicted, obviously they were executed publicly. They were hung. One of them was actually beaten to death and hung prior to the conviction. And then the white citizens around the area kind of mounted up. They were called Night Riders, and they went into Oscarville and were terrorizing the black citizens there and trying to get rid of them, telling them, hey, if you don't leave, overnight, we're going to kill you. And they were destroying buildings, burning things down and everything like that, and eventually drove all those black people out of Oscarville. And then much later, a few decades after that, that's when the government came in and kind of, bulldozed everything, and they built a dam and created Lake Lanier and buried what was Oscarville in Georgia. So a couple of reasons to stay away from Lake Lanier. One being that they literally drowned a historic black town, and then obviously Lake Lanier is going to drown you because Lake Lanier does not like you.
And that's one of many towns that are like that. There are a lot of many black towns that are like that are now underwater because these communities decided we don't want them here anymore. Too prosperous. First we set them over there so we don't have to see them, but that's not good enough. They're doing well, so let's just get rid of them. Yeah. Or just take over, or just burn the town down and just take their stuff, take the land back for ourselves. All right. So unfortunate, but yeah, don't go to the lake because and most of these deaths, if I'm not mistaken, like they can't explain why the people are drowning there, right?
Yeah, a lot of they're kind of I wouldn't say mysterious circumstances, but they're a little puzzling, a little bit, right? Yeah. This past week, they had one of the people may have been electrocuted, so they're trying to figure out
how you get electrocuted in the lake.
Well, so the talk was that they were swimming to I forget, they're on the dock and there was a like a breaker there, and they were going to, I forget what it is for actually, but it's something to do with parking the boats there. They were trying to, I guess, turn it on or turn it off, and they got electrocuted possibly. They don't know for sure yet.
Sure.
But yeah, that's what happened.
Don't go in the lake.
Salute
don't
to Marco
go
G.
where people keep dying.
Salute to Marco G for the 333. Said, "What's good, fellas? I want Jim Irsay versus JT in a steel cage match with Stone Cold as a special guest referee and JR on the commentary." Hey, we're gonna be talking about that in a little bit. I mean, we can start with that if you want.
Sure. I mean, it's up to y'all.
All right. Well, first, let me get a couple more shout outs. Christian's in the house. What's going on? Good morning from the Philippines. Salute to you.
Indeed.
Christian, he makes it to a lot of our Ring Kings streams that go on at 1, 2 a.m. So thanks for coming through. Appreciate that. Our guy OTR Mike is in the house. What's going on, Mikey?
What's up, Mike?
Yolanda B. What's going on, Yolanda? Thanks for coming through.
Yolanda?
Raven Ron's in the house. What's going on? Living Big with Big Reg is in the house. What's good, everybody? I see y'all soon. Get your tickets. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. What's up, Megan? Says, hey, lunch break, hot take. Says, just popping in to say hi before another Hawks Nest stream.
What's up, jerseys?
Yes. She got all the jerseys. And salute to the Hawks Nest. They've given us a shout out a couple times. I forget this guy's name, Brandon. Brandon's the host of Hawks Nest. Real nice community over there. So, when you got a chance you want to go look at some other teams, check out the Hawks Nest and give them a shout out. Who else we got in here? Jeremy's in the house. What's going on, Jeremy? Brandon Wyatt's in the house. Says, what's good, y'all? Salute. All right. Listen. In the latest episode of Do Running Backs Still Matter? No. We have Johnathan Taylor, who is beefing hard with the Indianapolis Colts and the owner, Jim Irsay. All right, B, you want to kind of summarize what's going on between those two?
Well, Johnathan Taylor's been really good. The first couple of years of his career, he got hurt last year, but he had 1,100 yards, I believe, was his rookie year. Kicked that up to 1,800 yards rushing in his second year. And then, like I said, he got hurt. He only played a few games last year, but he's looking a little bit to the future and a lot to the present and saying, hey, y'all should maybe pay me because I see that you all don't like to pay people who do what I do. And, they didn't take very kindly to that. They said, no, thank you. And then he said, okay, well, hey, maybe you should trade me. And they didn't take kindly to that at all either. And they said, no, why would we trade you? And Jim Irsay made some public comments and he said that, hey, if I die today and if Johnathan Taylor retires today, the league rolls on. Neither of us matter. And I don't think Johnathan Taylor took very kindly to that either. So it seems like a whole lot of not very cordial behavior happening over there in Indianapolis. Unfortunately for Johnathan Taylor, he has to play. If he doesn't play this year, if he sits out, he's not going to accrue another season towards free agency. He'll be a restricted free agent, and you're definitely not getting paid then. So again, much like JK, doesn't have much leverage to kind of force the outcome that he wants.
Now, add a wrinkle to that is that it's been reported that the Colts are exploring putting him on a non-football injury list because of a hurt back. Basically trying to punish him for speaking out and, making this whole thing kind of messy, right? Because they're trying to say, hey, you got hurt, off the field, and we don't have to, we're going to put you on this list and you're not going to play this year. And that, we have you for another year just to try and mess with them. Johnathan Taylor already came out and said, I never reported any back injury whatsoever. My back feels fine. Don't try it. So we haven't heard much since, but I think Johnathan Taylor's waiting. The players union is waiting to see what move the Colts make. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it would take the town drunk, one of the worst owners in the NFL, to do this. And with that non-football injury list, he would be out for the first 6 games, which means they wouldn't have to pay him. So Jim Irsay, in essence, saves a little bit more money. I mean, listen, he knows that he plays this year out. No matter how well he does, they're going to franchise tag him next year. And I think the franchise tag next year goes up to like $11 million. And he's like, no, I'm worth more than that. I did lead the league 2 years ago in scrimmage yards with over 2,000. And last year he did get hurt, but that wasn't all his fault. The offensive line was terrible. Quentin Nelson, the all-pro guard, he was hurt. He didn't play well. So he pretty much had to carry that team. And that's why he got hurt. So, Jim Irsay is just doing what owners do, trying to save money in their pockets, but still keep the players around. So I think the players now are trying to band together and they're trying to obliterate the franchise tag because they're saying it's not fair.
Except
Saquon.
Except for Saquon.
He was one of the main ones talking, and now he's just like, actually, I will take that money.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna give me a $900,000 bonus if I make all these escalators that I haven't done in 1 year?
That I definitely can't make.
But the thing is, even if he makes those escalators, they have to make the playoffs. So he can hit all 3 of those points, and if they don't make the playoffs, he still just essentially plays on a franchise tag.
Why would you agree to that? That's nothing. They gave you nothing. I mean, he wanted to cry about it. He knew he was never going to sit out. He just wanted to cry about it and then go sign the contract. Just go sign the contract.
Yeah.
I think Saquon's one of those guys that he doesn't want anybody mad at him. He wants to be liked. And you get frustrated sometimes. It boils over, and you say things that you really want to say, but then when you sit back and think about it, you're like, I want to keep everybody happy. $10 million isn't chump change, so I'll sit there and I'll accept this. But my thing is, don't say anything. Just sign a franchise tag when you get it, and go ahead and play, and see what happens next year.
Yeah. So Johnathan Taylor, yeah, I mean, I don't think he was going to sit out. I mean, he's sitting out of practice, I think, but I don't think he's going to sit out the regular season. And look, these running backs, it's tough, right? Because the position is devalued, and they clearly see that's an issue, but they're going to have to, look, man, like they're going to have to make a stand, and it might seem futile right now because it's like, okay, even if we all sit out, they can replace us, right? But that sends a message to the next generation coming in. You don't want to play running back, right? And it's like what me and B talked about. I think the message is already getting out there, but make a strong stand. Make it to where, it's in the headlines every week because you got these players sitting out, right? You don't have the best running backs out there. It's something that the team has to answer. Or questions that the teams have to answer. It's something that's going to be in the news even during college football when college football starts, and it'll be something that those students will get questioned about. Like, hey, you're an NFL. You look like you're going to be a top NFL prospect. You still want to play running back with everything going on? Like, those are the questions that the NFL does not want trickling down to to the amateur leagues, right?
All right.
Because once those questions start hitting them and they have to think about it, then it's actually no, I don't want to play running back. Let me switch positions now. So they're going to force a change one way or another. Either temporarily they increase the pay for running backs, or they decimate that position because nobody wants to play it.
Right. I honestly think the NFL would be fine with that. I think what will happen is bad wide receivers will have to play running back. They'll have to play in the backfield, like not even full time, and they'll just they'll rotate guys through. And I think that I should say some teams will be fine with that. I don't think all teams will be fine with that, and I think eventually the league would look at trying to pull things back a bit. I've said here before, I think the only way that you're really going to get that value back for running backs is to change the way you call the game, and bring it back to closer to what it was in the early 2000s and the 90s and the 80s, where the defense could play more physical, and it wasn't such a slam dunk passing the ball, because that's really what kills the value for running backs. Is even the best running backs, it's less efficient to hand them the ball than it is to throw it to the worst wide receivers out there. You're just going to gain more yards throwing the ball. Even if that player isn't very good, then you're going to get handing the ball off. And so, with that being the case, it kind of tanks their value.
Yeah. Yes, I can see the NFL, like you said, the NFL is trying to push the league more towards just passing, right? But again, it's a chain reaction because now everybody wants to play wide receiver, too many wide receivers, and the NFL doesn't want to pay anybody, right? So now you have running backs and wide receivers who don't get paid. They've already tried to put a cap on what quarterbacks are making. Once it gets to wide receivers, I think the wide receiver group is probably the next group that the NFL looks at and says, we're going to devalue this group. Once that starts to happen, then there'll be a strike. Then they'll say, nah, we see what you're doing. You already got rid of running backs. You're not coming for us next and taking our money. And I think then the league will band together, because what's next after that? Linebackers, corners, safeties,
God willing. No, but like you mentioned on Coach's Show, I think that with wide receivers, they'll still pay the top wide receivers because they are the players who they enhance your quarterback, and the top players at that position. And not to say that running backs aren't valuable, but the top players at wide receiver have a more obvious impact because they can bail out your quarterback. They're making much bigger plays down the field and all that. And we do see that right now. They are already trying to squeeze those wide receivers in terms of the money and free agency. but you still have Devontae making over 30. You still have Tyreek making over 30. So you like the top guys are still getting paid. Justin Jefferson's going to get paid. Jamar Chase is going to get paid. T. Higgins he's going to get paid somewhere else maybe, but he's going to get paid. It's just the tier 2 and 3 guys are going to be bumping into that ceiling. And I do think that, like I said, it is going to come to the point where they're like, man, we got to do something about this. But the question is going to be, is Tyreek Saquon? Is Justin Jefferson Saquon? And they're just going to turn their back on the rest of the receivers? Or they, just like with any labor dispute, is, hey, are the people who are doing well, the people who are eating good, are they going to stand with you, or are they going to turn their back on you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a contentious situation, because if you think about it, running backs are the third position that touch the ball the most. You got the center, the quarterback, then you have the running back. I think somebody said the other day that, I don't know if it was Terrell Owens or who holds the record for most receptions in the game. It's either Terrell Owens or Brandon Marshall. Well, it really doesn't matter. One of them had 21 catches in the game as a wide receiver. In that same game, the running back ran 23 times and caught the ball 3 times. So even on a historic day for a wide receiver, you still had the running back touching the ball 26 times. I think if they all take a stand, which would kind of be hard to do, because, of course, just like with scabs, you'll have the lesser tier running backs coming in trying to make a name for themselves. But I think for someone like Johnathan Taylor, Saquon, it's a little bit different. If you take Saquon out the equation, the Giants just aren't a good team. When Johnathan Taylor was hurt last season, you saw the Indianapolis Colts take a dip. Now, I know they got your boy AR-15 in there, but without a really good running game, he's going to struggle to progress. And with things like that, he could turn into another David Carr. So, but we're just not going to have him. I can't see Christian McCaffrey sitting out making $16 million a year.
No, Christian is like, no, I'm fine. I'm good. His contract's coming up soon too. We'll see how they feel about him then, right? But Christian, he did all right. He did all right.
Yeah, he did.
What comment are you looking at, B?
Oh no, I'm just looking, because like you're saying, with the teams being worse without those guys, I think it's more to do with the rest of the team than the running back, right? Like for the Giants, Brian Daboll coming in, I think, is what really spurred them on to that unbelievable season they had last year, because I thought they were just dumpster juice. But they made the playoffs, right? And I think you can attribute a lot of that to coaching and then building up the rest of the roster. Because I mean, Saquon's been on that team and he's been on some bad teams, right?
Well, yeah, I think
Christian McCaffrey is an example too. 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving, 5 wins.
Yeah, but I think you need coaching too, right? I mean, we're talking about Justin Herbert being the highest paid quarterback right now. He just made his first playoff game last year, so that's good. And I think he's really good. You think he's really good?
Yeah.
He's top 10 quarterback. Not a lot of winning, right?
They also have a top running back on that team too. So know that, and that's the thing. You
and edge rushers.
If you build up the rest of the roster, because I mean they had a ton of injuries last year.
And offensive line.
If you build it up, Justin Herbert can take you to a Super Bowl. Austin Eckler is not going to.
No, it's not. Yeah. Listen. Like, it's the quarterback's the most important position for sure, right? But like you said, wide receivers will get paid. Wide receiver ain't going to carry you either, right? Like no one person is going to carry you to any place except for Lamar Jackson, right? But yeah, you usually pay your talented players, but obviously they don't care about the running back position.
Well, that's why my thing is, like, you're going to get paid in the NFL based off of 2 things. It's the amount of talent at that position, how easy it is to replace you, and how you affect the quarterback. And that's why you see left tackles get paid, and for a long time right tackles didn't. That's changing a bit now because there's a lot more edge rushers. But you see edge rushers get paid because they have a pretty big negative effect on the quarterback, right? Corners get paid and safeties don't get paid because safeties don't really affect the quarterback directly like that. But wide receivers do. Wide receivers help your quarterback quite a bit. Running back, not as much. You're taking the ball out of your. I mean, obviously indirectly, you want to be able to lean on a run game, but you're not leaning on a running back. You're leaning on a run game, which is a pretty big distinction, right?
Yeah.
And taking the ball out of your quarterback's hands generally not a good thing. There are some teams who really try to their own detriment, lean into the run game, but that those teams are. I wasn't talking about Baltimore. It's all right, but those teams, they're not really winning that way. Like they're having some success, but they're not, winning championships that way. And you see where they fall short is even if our run game is going, we don't have the quarterback to do it. Or we're relying on the defense. And our defense falters or something like that.
You're right, B. But I mean, even with the Ravens, if you look at the 2012 Super Bowl, during that playoff, I know, but I'm just saying. But during that 2012 Super Bowl run, we didn't lean on the ground game. No. We leaned on Joe Flacco and Anquan Bolden because that actually was the dissension of Ray Rice. That's when Ray Rice actually took
Ray Rice got us to the playoffs though.
Oh, he got it.
I heard he didn't.
Not according to Marlon the Snitch.
I heard he didn't. So.
Yeah.
Let me read this comment for DDSQ. Salute to you, man. Thanks for the 420. He says, "What's good, fellas? NFL is trying to reset the market for all players. They are using the running back situation as a test case. Watson contract and wide receiver market last year is causing them to do a reset, in my opinion. Bengals are breaking up wide receiver core after this year." I think he has a very good point.
Yeah, absolutely. They are absolutely trying to hold down salaries across the board, and that includes quarterback. They're not paying those guys what they're worth. But that and this is what we've always talked about on the show. That is the entire reason that they have a salary cap, because they can get around the salary cap whenever they want to, but it's there to when they want to point to it and say, "Hey, man, sorry, Saquon. I know we just paid. I know we just traded for Darren Waller, who's making a bunch of money. I know we just paid our left tackle. I know we paid our quarterback. I know we just paid our D tackle, but we ain't got no money for you." Cap, right?
Yeah. And he should have absolutely just said, "All right, then play without me." He should have done that.
He should, because the disrespectful part about that was once he signed that offer, they signed Andrew Thomas the next day.
Yeah.
To $100 million.
They signed him before, they signed him after. They looked at him dead in his face and said, "I ain't got it for you, man.
I ain't got it." Pac's got that.
They're gonna have look at some point. Listen, like we ain't trying to be in the pockets, right? But like they're gonna have to bite down at some point and realize, okay, this year I'm not gonna get a check because I'm gonna sit out. I'm gonna make a point. I gotta save my money, tighten up on some things, and show them that, hey, especially somebody like Saquon, right? Some of these guys, you just got to show up, right? J.K. Dobbins, I'm sorry, bro, you have to show up. You just, I feel you. I agree with you, but you gonna have to show up.
Because the reality is he hasn't earned that second contract anyway.
Yeah.
Man,
but he's standing firm on principle, though.
Yeah,
no, and that's great.
If Saquon, I mean, we kind of had different opinions on how running backs affect the game a little bit, but I think Saquon, especially them not even having real wide receivers, like,
oh wow, you gonna disrespect them 17 people whose names I don't know,
except for Darius Slayton because he's on my fantasy team. Let's go, Darius. Yes, let's go.
Hey, Jose,
yeah,
you know who the Giants' leading receiver was last year?
Saquon. That's what I'm saying. So like,
but you know what though? You know who Carolina's leading receiver was all them years ago? It was Christian McCaffrey. And when he got his money, everybody laughed at Carolina. We're paying their running back.
Yeah. All right, let's go on because we already spent a good chunk of time on this. We said about an hour for the show. But before we go, yes, our stream bot has the link to the Roundup meet and greet. All right. I told you I was going to mention this a few more times. It's happening this Friday in Columbia, Maryland at Bus Boys and Poets. My voice is hoarse if you haven't those guys. So Hendo B, tell them what they're getting at the meet and greet.
Oh, I thought you were going to jump in there. All right. So
nothing, I guess. Don't get the tickets.
Yeah, Bus Boys and Poets this Friday evening, 7 o'clock to 9:30 p.m. We're going to have food, drinks, music. There's going to be apparently some very nice decorations.
Very
there's
nice.
There's going to be, like I said, a swag bag, and there's going to be some prizes given away, and there may be a quick Q&A if y'all have any questions. Try not to ask any questions though. Not working that night, so
you are working. You're working the room.
Not working that night.
I'm on mute.
Yeah, you are.
That reminds me, we're supposed to be giving away some tickets, aren't we?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like,
Yes.
I don't really feel like doing a giveaway. So if you want a ticket, we have 2 tickets to give away. Thanks to our guy C Iron Addict. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Here's what we're gonna do.
I was about to say what we were gonna do.
Oh, you said you didn't want to give away.
No, I was saying, like, I don't want to like run a giveaway. Like, I want to do a contest or something like that. So
I was gonna say during trivia time.
Yeah, nah.
No,
that's for the other thing. All right.
Okay.
So if you want to go to the meetup, if you're in the area and you just haven't bought a ticket yet, maybe you don't want to buy a ticket, can't afford whatever it is, but you would like to attend, you can DM us on Twitter at LBHT Show, and then it'll just be first come first serve.
Okay. All right. Listen, I see 57 people in here. First of all, hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. If you're in the Columbia, Maryland area, if you're in Maryland, I mean,
it's not that far.
It's not that far. And you want to go, DM us. It's that simple.
I can't believe y'all didn't pick up on that. Man, it's a trick question. DM us on X. Twitter doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Does a DM exist anymore?
I was gonna say, let me make sure that the DMs are open.
Is it DX? Direct X?
You gotta watch them. They limit you on everything that you do.
Sure do.
Yeah. Mapega. Oh, you live in South Africa. I forgot.
Shout out.
Salute. He says, will you guys be streaming? Some of us live in South Africa. No, we're not gonna live stream. We haven't asked that. We're not gonna live stream. I don't think we have to set up for a live stream, but we'll get some pictures and maybe some footage. Yeah. So, all right. Let's see. Zico Kage, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Ryan C's in the house. Salute to you.
Ooh.
Okay. Alvaro Diallo says we need no Twitter clause in Marlo's next contract.
Yes. Even his own teammates think he needs to shut up.
Yeah. Some censors.
What's
and
up,
Brent Lauren, what's going on? Sorry, I've been absent, showing support. Shout out to Bazel. Yes.
Indeed.
Congrats to Bazel. And thank you, Dwayne. Dope show as always is what he said. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So DM us. We got 2 tickets, courtesy of C Iron Addict. So salute to C Iron Addict. All right. If you get a ticket, you come to the meet and greet, go shake the man's hand, tell him thank you. All right. It's courtesy of him. All right. Are you ready for the next story, or do I need to filibuster some more?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. Well, predictions.
Lord.
Doesn't everybody love predictions?
We do.
Everybody loves predictions, man. Everybody loves predictions. Oh, by the way, in case you were wondering, if you're new here, and you're looking for the super chat button, right? And I know you are. Here's how we do super chats. Right in the corner, below Hendo, $ LBHT Show. Well, that's the Patreon. In the corner is $ LBHT Show.
That one. There.
Over there. Yep. That's the Cash App. Okay. Also, the pin link that you see in the comment takes you to our Stream Elements page. Both ways, you leave your donation, leave your comment, and you get that animation right next to my face. I know some of you guys are wondering how that happens. That's how it happens. All right. And yes, patreon.com/LBHT Show is how you can support. Also, signing up to patreon.com/LBHT Show and donating get you points, get you loyalty points. At the end of every month, the person with the most points gets a prize. If you have over 1,000 points, you enter our drawing, which we give away stuff. Okay. Agent E, I believe, got a gift card, an Amazon gift card last time around. And Ferris won the first one. He got a Giants hat or something. Right.
Yeah, he picked a Giants bucket hat because Giants fans have bad taste. But you don't have to get something like that. You can get something good. Not this month, though, because, actually, we have a little controversy this month. in terms of who won the loyalty points.
Who won, Brodny?
You saw Hendo making up his face right there because Hendo was in first place. And then our guy Ferris came through with the last minute donation to take the number one spot.
Was that on stream? Was that on stream?
When?
It doesn't have to be on stream.
Oh, okay.
First of all, no one ever said it had to be on stream. We'll take money anytime. But the controversy comes in, and what we actually received was a promise of a donation.
Oh no,
that doesn't count.
One question. I got one question.
If it shows up, it counts.
I have one question.
What's up?
Have you received that donation?
I'm not putting Ferris's business out there like
that. No. Listen, if you have not received that donation by August 1st, he loses.
Okay.
Yeah, all payments have to be on time.
Duly noted.
I can't stand you.
Duly noted.
And we might have to change the rule
because you don't have access to my Cash App. I don't think it's really relevant how you feel.
We might have to change that rule. I know Coach doesn't allow back-to-back winners, right? We might have to do something like that because Ferris he'll do this every month. He'll do this every month.
I'm fine with Ferris. But okay.
I want other people to have a chance to win as well. All right. Okay. All right, B. Lead the way.
The bias.
Yeah, so we are going to do our annual NFL predictions. We're going to be looking at division winners. We're going to be looking at the winners for the major awards. You know, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then not the whole playoff, but we'll do, conference champions and Super Bowl winner. So what will we start with? I'll start with division winners, maybe.
Let's go.
All right. So starting with the NFC, Philly, Chicago, Carolina, and the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay. I got Philly as well. I also have Carolina.
Bite.
I have. Well, you just went first. I think you bit me. I think you heard me say this before. I also have Chicago.
Wow.
And I got San Francisco.
Okay.
That's right.
I guess I'll go with Philly,
Wow.
New Orleans, Detroit.
You feel better now, B? He's not biting you.
Detroit and San Francisco.
Out in
Detroit, the 31st ranked team.
First of all, listen.
They got Jameson Williams for 6 weeks, right?
I know that, but Detroit is deploying a secret weapon. The head coach just went up to the owner and asked, can he bring a live lion on the field?
They said no.
The owner said yes, but the league said hell no.
Of course they did. It's a live lion.
That is the most Ricky Bobby thing in the world. And of course it came from Dan Campbell.
What is it? Moon from what was that basketball?
Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon. That's a Jackie Moon thing.
That's Ricky Bobby too. Didn't he drive in the car with the tiger?
It's Will Ferrell, is what y'all are.
Well, it's Will Ferrell.
Oh, boy. All right. So those are the division winners for the NFC. AFC.
Yes. The AFC. I've got Baltimore, unlike the Baltimore Ravens fans up here.
Hold on, I didn't make my prediction yet.
Okay, I heard both y'all talking about the roundup. I was on that show. Anyway, I've got the Ravens. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs because
7 straight.
And then we've got, my heart wants to go with Anthony Richardson and the Colts, but I'm gonna have to take the Jaguars. And I'm taking the Miami Dolphins in the East.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to change my mind a little bit on the AFC North. I picked the Bengals before. I'm starting to lean towards the Ravens. I'm starting to feel this team. But I'm going to stick with the Bengals for now. It's going to be close. Right? Both of them, I think, are going to win a lot of games. I just think in the playoffs, we're going to be different. I think we're going to be different. But I'm going to go Bengals. I'm gonna go Chiefs. I mean, look, just mark the Chiefs down for everything. Patrick Mahomes, just mark them down. I'm going Bills in the East, and in the South, I'm going Texans. Oh yeah, I did it. You heard it here first. Texans are going to win the AFC South.
Bold predictions. Yes. I'm gonna go with Kansas City. Of course, they won 7 straight AFC West titles. Logical pick. I'm going to go with the Dolphins because it seems like the Bills over the last 3 seasons have regressed. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. And I keep saying this. Calvin Ridley is going to make a difference in the progression of Trevor Lawrence. And in the AFC North, we got Joe Burrow's injury. We got Rocky Sin's injury. I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Wow, so all my picks. Exactly. That's what you're saying.
I thought you picked. Didn't you pick Indianapolis?
You try to no. I picked Jacksonville. Wow. You try to do them in a different order to throw people off the scent, but that's all right, man. That's okay. That's okay.
You know what? Agent E convinced me. He said no, they're not. He convinced me. I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Wow.
Clean sweep.
I know he's talking about the Texans. But
all right, so we're gonna move on now to the end of season awards. Start off with the rookies. Who y'all got for offensive and defensive rookies of the year?
I already picked Bryce Young.
Exactly.
Shoot, I don't even know for who's the the guy that the Texans drafted.
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson. That's what I got.
I'm going to go with Offensive Rookie of the Year, CJ Stroud.
Because he's going to be division champ. Nice.
And what is it, Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter, yeah.
Philly.
For Philly.
I'm definitely obviously taking Bryce Young. That's the clear choice at number 1. I don't know how, I don't know how anybody and the thing is, Bijan is probably going to have the best season, arguably statistically, but it's like MVP. It's kind of a quarterback award, assuming you have the quarterback. So I'm going to take Bryce Young, and on the defensive side, I think I am also going to go with Will Anderson out of Houston.
That's right.
That is going to be the only thing that the Houston Texans win this year.
Can we get a repeat of the New York Jets? Offensive and defensive rookie of the year? Jalen Carter, Anderson and Stroud?
I just said that's the only thing that they're winning this year. I just said that. So that would preclude them from winning offensive rookie of the year. You are incorrect, sir.
What about Bijan? One section says Bijan Robinson. He's definitely going to be. Yeah.
I just said what about Bijan?
Okay. And Big Red says Zay Flowers, defensive rookie of the year. Caillou. Oh, he's joking. Okay. Caillou.
First of all, Reds don't even believe in the Ravens.
He
don't like the Ravens at all.
Not even a little bit.
He just want to promote them.
Moving on to the actual offensive and defensive players of the year. Start off with you, Hendo. Who you got?
Offensive player of the year?
Yeah.
Obvious. It's going to be Christian McCaffrey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stealing the picks.
That you didn't even make yet?
I made it several hours ago, sir.
Oh, I didn't see that. And defensive player of the year?
What you say?
I'm going to go.
You better not take my pick for this one.
It's going to be Aaron Donald.
Okay.
Yeah, Aaron Donald had a down year last year. He only played in like 10 or 11 games. But man, it's gonna be between him and I think Chris Jones is gonna get a little get some looks this year. Yeah, 15 sacks last year.
Yeah, but he wants $30 million a year.
Which is why he's gonna get 18 sacks this year.
You gotta ball out to get it. Who are you taking for offensive player of the year?
I'm going Saquon. No, I'm going Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson might get 2,000 receiving yards.
I thought about Justin Jefferson. I'm like, they're probably not going to give it to him twice in a row. And I did think that with the narrative going into the season, they'll want to throw running backs a bone, particularly a meaningless bone. So it will be Christian McCaffrey. He was phenomenal in San Francisco from the moment he got there, and now he's got a whole off season. And he is the best running back in the league, and he's in probably the best offensive system in the league, and he's going to tear it up. As far as the defense, I was thinking Micah Parsons, but I'm going to fix my green screen instead of telling you my answer. I was thinking Micah, but I'm actually going to go. I think, this team's going to get a lot more attention on them this year because of offseason acquisition of one Aaron Rodgers. And I think that Sauce Gardner is going to turn into a superstar. And he is going to, obviously he's got the skill already. He played well enough last year to arguably to be in that conversation. And so now with the extra media attention on New York, well, the other New York, I think he goes home with that Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. I want to bring this up from a guy, Jay. Says, who does CJ Stroud have to throw to? A guy who just beat cancer. What's that supposed to mean?
Hey.
What's that supposed to mean? Still don't know what he can do. That's true. Rookies in Dell and Hutchinson, a waste of height wide receiver Nico Collins, and old Wiley Bobby Triss. But look,
is that who? That's not Jay. I've never heard Jay say that many negative things in the span of a week, let alone one sentence.
You're asking this question when to Baltimore Ravens fans who watched Lamar get unanimous MVP, and who did he throw to?
This was the same dude who asked me if Alex Fudge was going to make a big impact on the Lakers season. He out here talking about ain't got nobody in Houston.
Big Red says Travis Kelce for Offensive Player of the Year and TJ Watt for Defensive Player of the Year. Not bad picks.
TJ ain't gonna play enough games.
I saw one session said maybe Myles Garrett. Now that he has Zadarius Smith on the other side of him, I can see that.
Oh,
I can see that.
Yeah. What's up, man? Well,
he got 15 sacks. He got 15 and a half sacks last season, even after coming back from that serious car accident. So, and they have Jim Schwartz is their new defensive coordinator. So,
yeah,
I don't know. And I saw Nick Bosa. He's another one with a contract holdout. He wants a little bit more money. So,
okay, all right. Look at this. The chat is getting look. We're in the 60s now. 61 people in here. Hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Football season is back. The numbers are going up. Look at that. If you haven't been here in a while, right there, okay, going down this Friday, the Roundup meet and greet. You will see all of us on screen here. You will see Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films. He's already in town. He's already in town. Ferris is going to be here as well. All right. Chris just joking from the Deep Cover podcast. OTR Mike, we're all going to be in attendance. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll have my voice back by then. I promise. All right. I'm going to rest up over these next 2 days. Okay. Get your tickets, man. Food, drinks. We're giving away prizes. We're going to send you home with a swag bag. You don't want to miss it. All right. Okay. What's next?
He said Jason never said the season, just in general. What would he impact if not the season? Leave your answer in the chat. Moving on.
Manuel got ahead. You're getting ahead of us, man. We haven't gotten to Super Bowl winners or MVP yet.
We're about to do MVP right now. And for MVP this season, I think I paid in the last 3 years. And now there's an actual real reason to, because the Baltimore Ravens decided to support him for once. I'm definitely going with Lamar.
I'm gonna have to go with Lamar Jackson. Like you said, they've given him the weapons. They've given him an offensive coordinator that knows a passing scheme, and he's in his 6th year. So I think that he has a better understanding of reading NFL defenses. And look, this team's gonna be scary.
Man, you guys know how I feel about Pat Mahomes, man. Pat Mahomes, it seems like the worse talent he gets, the better he gets. And the more hurt he gets, the better he gets. The man won the Super Bowl on one leg. And still throwing darts out there. What's he gonna do with 2 legs this year? Right? But no, I'm gonna go with Lamar as well, because listen, the only reason we don't talk about Lamar the same way as Pat Mahomes is because this team has failed him. right? They haven't put talent around him. They haven't done a good job coaching around him. I think that changes a little bit this year. He still doesn't have a Travis Kelce on his team, but Odell's is a really good addition. Zay Flowers a really good addition, and I think a healthy Bateman is a good addition, and healthy J.K. Dobbins. So he has some talent, and of course he's got Andrews. Andrews is really good. So he's got more talent. This is the best. This is the most talent he's had since he's been in the league. So that makes a huge difference. Todd Monken, we gotta wait and see what he's gonna do. But everything that we're hearing about him seems like he's gonna open up the playbook, the passing game. And if he does that, yeah, Lamar's the best player in the world. So yeah, I expect him to win MVP.
Yeah, I think. I think week 1 is going to be a real litmus test because DeMeco Ryans, great defensive coordinator. Yes. And as the head coach, I think he's going to do something with the Houston Texans. So with our offense going up against him, the kind of counter punch that's going to be done between Monken and DeMeco and his defensive coordinator will show us a lot, I think, going forward as to how Monken is going to be as a coordinator.
Counter punch. Literally, all he has to do is line Will Anderson up over Morgan Moses. Job done, right? We're gonna have to go into hashtag hyperdrive.
Let's go.
We are 9 minutes away from an hour. So conference champions. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens versus in the NFC. I am going to take a rematch. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers with the Baltimore Ravens winning.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go Ravens versus Philly.
Yeah, I got Ravens beating Philly in the Super Bowl.
All right. It's not what y'all were saying on the roundup, but that's okay.
That's what I said.
We're going to keep it moving.
What did we say?
Y'all said the Bengals were better than them. That's what y'all said.
I've always said that the Ravens were going to the Super Bowl.
I said they win the division, not they're not going to win the playoffs.
Better than them. We're on to submitted questions. I don't hear whatever chatter this is going on.
Who's Super Bowl MVP?
After the fact. Lamar Jackson is going to be Super Bowl
Lamar Jackson is Super Bowl MVP.
Because they ain't no chance in hell they giving it to J.K. Dobbins when he about to hold out for a contract. All right. On to the submitted questions. Number 1.
Dang, Jay.
Do y'all think people were smoking crack when they rated Lamar at just 72 and freaking Jared Goff was ahead of him? I sure do. Thank you, Chocolate Lady Cap. I would agree with you. Jared Goff does not deserve to be rated anywhere near Lamar Jackson, let alone ahead of him. So it may not have been crack, but they were smoking something.
This just tells me that when they say this is what the players vote on, that ain't true. Yeah. Nobody outside of Detroit has Jared Goff in their top 100. Nobody.
Thanks. I just think they were all huffing paint.
Players have bias just like everybody else.
Yeah, but it's 72.
He didn't play the full season. I think a lot of people dropped him down because of that.
I mean, I'm focused on Jared Goff being on this list. Okay.
Period.
Listen, if you look at Jared Goff's numbers, he had a good season. They were 1 win away from the playoffs. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know.
I want to know how they do this polling.
Listen. It's hashtag hyperdrive. Crack or no? Hendo.
Yes, correct.
Yes. All right. Next question. Was the Spence loss that devastating that he should retire, or are people over exaggerating like Stephen A. Smith?
He also might be on crack.
So we're gonna combine this question with our Combat Corner segment because this is what we were going to talk about a little bit. No, Spence shouldn't be. And now look, if he has a serious health issue that we don't know about, then obviously your health comes first. But if you're just talking about, oh man, he got whooped, he should quit, that's ridiculous. He is the second best welterweight in the world. He has beaten everybody else in that division who matters outside of Jaron Ennis. And that's because Jaron Ennis hasn't fought anyone. Keith Thurman don't matter. Keith Thurman out here talking about Clarissa Shields. Keith Thurman going on 3-year vacations. Keith Thurman don't matter. But regardless, he's the second best welterweight in the world. He lost to Bud Crawford, who put on a virtuoso performance. It's not a reason to quit.
Agreed.
Yeah. No, he shouldn't quit. He should not quit.
John Wall in talks with an Italian club. I was told he was going to be the savior for the Lakers. But moving on, submitted question number 3. Thoughts on Sean Payton talking trash about Nathaniel Hackett? I understand Rodgers wants to defend his coach, but he comes across very sensitive and doesn't realize Hackett wouldn't even be there if he wasn't fired from Denver last season. Thank you very much, Jeremy. And thank you as well to Suge Knight 323. Appreciate you guys sending in the questions, as well as Chocolate Lady Cap with the first one. Very insensitive that question was. But as far as Sean Payton, I don't like Sean Payton at all. He comes across as a major dirtbag. And one of his former players said he's a drug addict. But I do like coaches talking about each other, and I wish they would do it more.
Yeah, I'm all for the trash talking.
Yeah,
and I agree. I wish coaches would do that. Not do the old coach speak thing. Mm-hmm. Talk your trash, back it up, right? Mm-hmm. But I got no problem with it. And I got no problem with Aaron Rodgers sticking up for his coach either. I don't listen. I'm an adult. I understand these people don't, they're not going to hate each other. It's not going to be like, oh, we don't like them, they don't like us, and when we see them, we're going to take their heads off, right? Like, they got to say what they got to say to get themselves up for a game. But sometimes there's some legit beef out there. Mm-hmm. And some teams just, they don't like the other team. A lot of players on one team don't like, players on the other team, whatever. If coaches got into it as well, that'd be great. It's entertaining. So I'm for it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm for it as well. I like it when players, coaches, people just speak their mind, how they truly feel, instead of giving the quote unquote correct answers. I just think he should have saved it for the week 5 matchup. But I respect it. Sean Payton out here getting real zesty, and he even spoke about his general manager and front office executives. So you got to have some stones to be like, yo, you effed up last year and you need to fix it. But I think he did all this to protect Russell Wilson because he is in decline. And because of this now, they may flex that game to prime time.
Yes.
All right. We're done with the submitted questions. Jay, I saw you just posted a question. It's a little late. We are in the show, but appreciate you posting it anyway. We will not be answering that. Now, moving on.
About it overtime. Well, first of all, before we move on, we can to stop right at an hour. But look, listen, man. Look, we got to plug our stuff. Right. Look, patreon.com. There you go. /LBHT Show. All right. That's where you'll find the overtime show. Again, this is going to be a shorter show tonight. The overtime show is going to be a little bit shorter because we moving. We getting things ready for this meet and greet as we speak. All right. What we got going on for the overtime show? Oh, there he is. Dana White getting heckled by his own fighter. The Stephen Wonderboy Thompson says, hey, man, you didn't pay me. Right? He showed up for a pay-per-view event. They had UFC 3008, whatever number they're on. And Wonderboy showed up for the fight. He was ready to go. His opponent was not. So the fight didn't happen. And Dana White says, you're not getting paid. So we're going to talk about, should Wonderboy get his money? Or are we saying the fight didn't happen so he doesn't get his money? We're discussing that and some more on the overtime show. All right. Okay. Here we go. Combat corner time. Okay.
We kind of did combat corner with the Errol Spence question. I was going to Dr. J next.
No, not yet, because I love this clip, so we gotta play it. If you lived under a rock and you didn't see what happened this weekend, our boy, well, you'll see. Our boy. Look, I mean, we like Errol Spence a lot. We like Bud Crawford too, right? Mm-hmm. But we were picking Errol Spence. Like, this whole time, we thought Errol Spence was the dominant fighter, and Bud said, not even close, because that fight was not close at all.
Don't ask the ref why he's stopping the fight if you got to take a second to get yourself upright before you ask him.
I mean, had he not gone down 3 times prior,
right,
he probably wouldn't he probably wouldn't have jumped in and got stopped. Like, you got completely outclassed. Mm-hmm. So going back to Stephen A's question, should he retire? Like, look, I understand you got beat so bad, people like, you want to do that fight again, but he's earned a little bit more respect than that. Okay,
he's earned a lot more respect than that. And screw Paul Pierce too. Paul Pierce is a clown. How they're talking about. No, he was at the fight, and right after the fight, he would, he went live like Paul Pierce does. That's why I'm the truth, and I didn't pass that down to him because Errol Spence's nickname is the Truth. You can't just call yourself that. That's got to be given to you. Blah blah blah. I'm like, Errol Spence is much better at his job than you ever were at yours.
Nobody ever mentions Paul Pierce. I mean, he really living large off that one championship ring
that Kevin and Ray won for him.
Right.
And out here talking about Dwayne Wade, he's better than Dwayne Wade and Jalen Rose, and he had to break down the entirety of his career. He didn't even move the rest of that segment. He was like, I can't believe this is happening to me right now on national TV. I thought we were boys, but stop saying stupid stuff like that. But back to Errol Spence. No, look, he lost a fight. It was embarrassing. It was a bad loss, but it was just one loss. Right? Mm-hmm. It was just one loss to the number one pound for pound fighter out there. And I mean, I don't think that even at this point I would pick any of the other welterweights to beat him. So there's no reason for him to quit. He had already said that he was having a tough time making 147. He wanted to fight at 154. So he can either keep it going there and maybe try that rematch, maybe go after Jerron Ennis or whatever, or he can just go to 154 and keep it moving. But no, there's no reason for him to be thinking about quitting because of the loss.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Hendo?
Listen, I'm glad I got to see that fight. That was a whooping. And I actually think that Crawford could have beat him a lot worse. I think it was times where he pulled up and just, he hit him a couple times, could have hit him more and just stopped and was like, I think this is enough punishment. But for me, it was a very exciting fight. I give Spence credit because that last flurry of punches, he didn't go down.
Right.
If the ref hadn't stopped it though, he took him out. So, but I'm looking forward to the second fight because as a man, you want to redeem yourself, even if you don't think you can win. You want to go out and give a better showing. And being a professional, you're gonna watch tape. You have trainers to kind of coach you on the things that you did wrong. So you never know what can happen in a rematch.
I was listening to this one boxing YouTuber, Fanon Boxing, right? Shout out to you. And he made a good point, right? Because people are making speculation that something might be wrong with Spence. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Like, he just got beat. But if it was something where he was just too drained, right? It's better not to say anything because what went wrong, right? Your opponent doesn't, right? So if it's something that he feels like, oh, I can correct it. I know was exactly what happened. I know how I felt when I went in there. I was off. I'm gonna correct it, and next time will be different. And he can go out there and give Bud a different look. It'll be a more interesting fight. I mean, at this point, Bud just look too skilled out there. So I would pick Bud to win the rematch. But this is what happens with great fighters. I mean, we talked about Holyfield and Riddick Bowe. Most people don't even remember because you remember Evander Holyfield being a great heavyweight champion because he beat Tyson twice, right? He beat a lot of people. But him and Riddick Bowe fought 3 times. I didn't even remember the sequence. I know Riddick Bowe had knocked him out in one of the fights, but he lost twice to Riddick Bowe in their trilogy fights, right? Most people don't remember that. Most people don't remember Riddick Bowe.
True.
It happens sometimes. You fight. Shane Mosley. You guys know who Shane Mosley is. Got beat twice by Vernon Forrest.
Yeah,
he just had his number.
Yeah, he did.
Right. I think Vernon Forrest. Rest in peace, Vernon Forrest. He passed away. But I think most people would have Shane Mosley over Vernon Forrest, but he could not beat Vernon Forrest.
And look, he may not be able to beat Bud Crawford.
No,
he may not be able to, but Bud Crawford landed 50% of his punches. He landed 60% of his power punches, which is ridiculous and unheard of. The gap between those two is not that wide. So I mean, there was something going on with him. Whatever it was, he knows how to block more than 40% of your punches. And Bud he's never gonna be that accurate again. Right. I mean, so there was something going on. The gap between those two isn't that wide. I'd pick Bud Crawford in the rematch as well, but it would have to be closer than that.
Sure. But y'all didn't read that publication on what he said went wrong?
No.
It was something on the internet that they interviewed him and asked him, was something wrong with you? He was like, yeah, all those knuckles to my dome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't shake it.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah, he was hitting me. All right, so we mentioned Paul Pierce, okay? And Paul Pierce badly wants to be relevant. Let's find out how relevant he is. Maybe he made Dr. J's top 10 list.
Well, he is retired, and apparently that's one of the criteria. But here is the list that Dr. J put. No, never mind. For a second, I was expecting the thing to pop up, not the banner. But here's the list that Dr. J put out to Bleacher Report of his top 10. This is not in order, but these are his top 10 players of all time. You have Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Kareem, MJ, Magic, that guy, and Tiny Archibald. He said that Steph Curry was not on the list because he hasn't played long enough. I'm not sure what the excuse he used with LeBron was, since he's played 20 years. But my reaction to this list is pretty much summed up in Dr. J's photo right here, the troll face, because there's no way you're serious with that. There's no way. Either you're completely unserious or you're just doing I'm an old guy, I only watch these guys play, I don't watch none of these young cats.
Put that list back up. Put that list back up for a second.
Yeah, say please.
Please. Bill Russell, Wilt, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Kareem, MJ Magic, Karl Malone, Tiny Archibald. Now, look, I don't take it as any disrespect. Like he's listening to players that, from his era, around his era, the people that he remembered playing with,
Right.
But a lot of people are going to look at that. And yes, I see E in the comments already. Oh, no, LeBron. I love it. Right. Yes, there's a lot of LeBron haters. You know who else is on the list? Kobe.
Right.
Fact. You know who I didn't like this dude, but I respect his game so much. Where's Larry Bird?
Right. Maybe he didn't play long enough.
Right. Oh. Steph not be on. I'm sorry. Look, I don't care how you feel about Steph. And I don't even know how you can hate Steph. I mean, he doesn't say anything.
He don't do anything.
Like he's the most laid back dude, but like he's got 4 rings. Like he's got all these 3-point shots that he just rains down. Like he's entertaining. Like, look, man, he's on the list. He's on my list.
The record holder for most 3-pointers in NBA history.
He's the greatest shooter who's ever lived.
Yeah, easily. He's been doing this since kindergarten. He's been shooting that same way since I first saw him at Davidson. Right? We were sitting there saying they ain't gonna work in the NBA.
Oh no, that's not true because he was an underdog. He couldn't play at Davidson.
Oh, well, okay. Well, when I saw him, he could certainly play.
Did you see his documentary?
No, I didn't watch that garbage.
What?
I don't know. I'm sorry. Don't try to convince me that a dude is an underdog just because he looks like a 12-year-old. He's 6'3". He's the son of one of the best shooters ever. His brother is also in the NBA. He was drafted in the top 10. He's not an underdog in any sense of the word.
Bruh, he didn't get any college scholarship offers.
He got drafted in the top 10.
He went to Davidson. His first game, he had 13 turnovers.
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet if we do a deep dive, right? So like a LBHT investigative journalist here, right? If we looked around and we made some phone calls, we will find that a lot of schools made Steph Curry an offer. You know why? Because children of NBA players always get offers even when they suck.
Right. Yeah. You want to tell me he ain't getting no offers, but his brother was at Duke? All right.
Because they
okay.
They'll bring him on just because they want his brother.
Yeah, no, I bet Seth was just better than him.
Not at all. They made him a believer.
Yeah, I don't believe Davidson was the only one offering. I don't buy that for a second. That's what they chose.
No, you really believe he chose Davidson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really believe nobody else offered him? Okay, didn't think so.
All right, let's go over to trivia time. We'll do trivia time.
Yeah, we'll do trivia time, I guess. Let me go ahead and reset these points real quick.
All right. So, okay, before we do trivia time, B, explain the point system for those who we still got 50 people in here. Hit the like button. For those of you who are just coming back, right? Took a little break this summer. You're getting back. We are on a point system now, loyalty points. These add up to prizes. So B's gonna explain how you get points and what happens at the end of each month.
Yeah, so the way you get points is just interacting with the show, essentially. Being in the live streams, talking in the chat, commenting on videos that we upload, donating like Chris White just did. And let me write that down since I won't be able to add it to the Streamlabs at the moment. Give me 1 second.
That's fine. While you doing that, I'm gonna read what Chris said. Salute to you, Chris. He says Bron doesn't win against teams with dominant big men like the guys on Dr. J's list.
What dominant big men did he not beat?
Right. Yeah. I don't get that. Who did Carmelo beat? How many rings he got?
Yeah. None. Because I feel like you're gonna come back with Jokic, who they beat on the way to their title a few years ago.
Right. In fact, not only did Carmelo not beat any dominant big man, he didn't win when he had a dominant big man on the same team and Shaq. Y'all don't remember that. Y'all don't remember that team that lost to Detroit basketball, right? You had the Samurai, Karl Malone. They didn't call himself that, the Samurai, something like that. Right? You had the glove and Gary Payton on that team to play along with Shaq and Kobe, right? Yeah. That was a team that they thought was gonna win, win it all. They thought that they were gonna set an NBA record. Look at all the talent on that team, and they lost in 5 to Detroit.
Dwight Howard and KG and the Celtics. Really? That's what we're doing right now.
They beat the Celtics.
That's what
on the way to the ring.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Dwight Howard. All right. I mean, we're reaching back to the first few years in Cleveland when he had no help at all on that team and was dragging them on playoff runs. That's cool. But I don't see in the chat here your response to them beating Jokic in the playoffs a couple years ago.
Right.
So
no, Danny is not giving 2-hour stream. We are wrapping this up. We're at trivia time.
Thank you for reminding us.
Yes.
Hey, Danny, you buy your ticket yet?
Uh-oh.
Did you send it in?
That is one of the ways that you can get loyalty points. Just for the next day or so, you can purchase a ticket to the August 4th meetup. That is Friday, and you'll get 6,000 points.
60s.
You can also donate. You'll get 100 times whatever the donation amount is. You can go to LBHTShow.com and sign up to our newsletter. That'll get you 1,000 points, which will have you into the monthly drawing that we do, along with giving away a prize for the top point getter. You can submit questions. You can submit Black History facts. You can submit, excuse me, sorry. You can submit trivia questions as well. And those will all get you points. And like I said, just basically anything that is interacting with the show will get you some level of points. And at the end of the month, if you're over 1,000, you'll be in the drawing. And if you are the top point getter, you will get a prize sent your way.
Yeah, Danny. Yes, Dan said, I know you're not counting points for me. Yes, you're active in the chat. That gets you points.
All right. Subscribing gets you points.
Yeah.
Being active in the chat. Answering questions also get you points.
Signing up for our newsletter gets you 1,000 points easy. There's all kinds of ways you can get points without spending any money. Just watching the stream gets you points. All right. So don't think you have to spend money to get points, and don't think, well, if I don't get enough points, I'm not going to win anything. If you get 1,000 points, is all you need to be entered in our drawing. You can win something. We do this monthly. So be active. All right. Trivia time. Speaking of getting some points, get points for the first 3 people that get this right.
So, considering the topic that we've been talking about for the last week or so with the running backs not getting the money they feel that they deserve, the question is, who is the highest paid running back of all time? Not average yearly value of their contract, but their total career earnings. Highest paid running back of all time.
Okay. So who's made the most money all time?
Yes.
What running back has made the most money, most career earnings all time? Okay. Now, I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but you can't just look at, the guys that are getting paid right now because they're in the middle of getting their money. So that is an interesting question. Okay, we got some answers here. I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm going to say, because he's one of my favorite players, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Okay. We've got a few answers in the chat.
All right, keep putting your answers in. Keep putting them in. Do you see 3 right yet, B?
I do. Who's
your pick, Hendo?
All day, Adrian Peterson. He's the highest paid running back.
Okay. I see Todd Gurley in there. Todd Gurley he got a lot of money.
But you would be surprised who may be the second person.
Oh, did you look it up? You cheated? Okay.
What?
What's the answer, B?
The answer? Adrian Peterson.
Whoa.
$103 million, which makes it that much more shocking that he's out of money. Ezekiel Elliott in second. Edgerrin James coming in number 3. Frank Gore and Reggie Bush rounding out the top 5. I was a little bit surprised that it was Adrian Peterson, but it was a small window, right? When NFL players started really getting paid, and then when they stopped paying running backs, and he was right in there.
Very glad to see on this list haven't played in a while.
Very glad to see 2 Hurricanes in there. The best college football team of all time. But shout out to, it looks like Buck was first in the chat, and then Jay the 6th and Yolanda B coming in third with the answer.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know the whole story, but the word is, Adrian Peterson. I'm not sure if he filed for bankruptcy or what, but he's financially strapped.
There was a talk about him falling victim to them payday loans and everything.
Oh, okay.
That was yikes.
Actually, in the overtime show, we'll discuss that a little bit. We talk about athletes, going broke or whatever, and it's a stigmatism to that because they really, when you hear athletes going broke, it's always about the black athletes, right? Yes. Lots of people go broke. Lots of millionaires go broke, not just athletes, because people get scammed all the time. I told you, man, I watched like all 20 years of American Greed on CNBC, man. I love that show, and I don't see no athletes on there, but I see a lot of people with money getting their money took. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of scammers out there, man.
Silicon Valley, especially when it first started in the tech boom, a lot of those kids, and a lot of them were kids, they made millions really quickly. They went from living in a dorm to being millionaires, and they didn't know how to financially traverse that world. And the companies went under like that, and those millions are gone.
How about
Kurt Schillings?
People selling crypto right now?
Oh man,
they getting a lot of people's money. Some of them, and maybe this is what we should have talked about on the OT. Some of them ended up in
jail.
Ended up with some strange situations with luggage. I'll say that.
Oh, you know what? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it. Yeah. Very strange. Me Hendo did a pop-up stream. We talked about Tom Brady and Giselle getting took for $40 million.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Tom can survive that because Giselle is loaded.
Yep.
Tom's loaded too. But $40 million ain't chump change, right? So yeah, man, these things happen. All right. that's the show. We're gonna wrap it up. Hendo, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on the Rogue Pod every Friday. Not this Friday though, because we're going to be busy.
Yes, yes.
I do a live stream every Sunday at 8 p.m. and I also drop videos throughout the week. So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. And you can also find me at theroguepod.com, where all of our channels are there. Any information that you need will be on that website.
All right. And look, we're going over to our Patreon, the Overtime Show right now, patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you have $5, just $5 in your pocket, and I know you got it. Head over to patreon.com/LBHT Show, and you can hang out with us on the Overtime Show. We just added a quick topic, right? We're gonna be talking about Dana not paying his fighters, okay? Because he's that guy. What B was hinting at right there. Strange things happening with the crypto people and luggage. Maybe somebody got found in one. Just gonna say, and apparently he's not the only person that's had some unfortunate, those crypto kings. He's not the only one that's met their demise in some strange ways recently. So we'll discuss that on the Overtime Show. So B, are you ready?
Yeah.
B is ready. Hendo, are you ready?
I'm ready.
He's ready. Like, my voice is starting to clear up a little bit already, man. I'm excited for it. Patrons, get ready. The Overtime Show is starting in a few minutes. Those of you who aren't on Patreon, $5 is all you need. Okay, there's more tiers. You can sign up for the higher tier if you want to. All right, and don't forget to get your tickets for this Friday. All right, going down in Columbia, Maryland at Busboys and Poets. Busboys and Poets is a very nice restaurant. Very nice. It's a very nice space that we got. It's going to be fun. Food, drinks, music, prizes, all that good stuff. So click that link. The stream bot has it in the chat. If you want to look at our description, it's there as well. All right. So come out and hang out with us. Have a good time. Also, there are 2 tickets that have been donated via Sea Iron Addict. All you have to do is DM us at LBHT Show. DM us. And
where is that?
X.
On the X, on Twitter.
The dumbest goddamn rebrand of all time.
We'll talk about that too at the Overtime Show. How stupid that is. It's the stupidest thing. All right, get your tickets. We are out of here. Have a great night. We'll see you next time. Peace.